right now is scrambling because they're trying to look for who to point blame to so they can deflect from the fact that the Lakers essentially showed LeBron James the door. And now the people that they're going after are Rob Pelinka and Kobe Bryant. They're now beginning to say that Rob Pelinka sabotaged Kobe Bryant,
The media is completely unraveling because the LeBron James era in Los Angeles is officially coming to an end. And now people around his camp are drawing heavy criticism for their latest response. They're even dragging Kobe Bryant's legacy into the conversation as debate grows over the Lakers' decision to move in a different direction. We need to break this down right now. But before we get into all the details, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think LeBron James deserved a major farewell contract and a proper retirement send-off from the Los Angeles Lakers? Or did the front office make the right decision by choosing to move forward?
They're now beginning to say that Rob Pelinka sabotaged LeBron James because of the way that he got kicked off the Lakers, but also it was reported that when LeBron James approached the Lakers for like a 2-year, I think $100 million contract, Rob Pelinka allegedly told LeBron James, "Do you think you're Kobe Bryant?"
As you guys already know, the Lakers front office has been extremely busy. Just a short while ago, they reportedly agreed to a 1-year, $3.9 million deal with former Golden State Warrior center Kevon Looney. That's a solid addition to strengthen the front court. The organization has been reshaping the roster from top to bottom. They brought in Walker Kessler, moved DeAndre Ayton to the Wizards, added players like Colin Sexton and Quentin Grimes, and they're also reportedly exploring ways to acquire Jonathan Kuminga through either free agency or a possible sign-and trade. The front office is clearly focused on building a younger, more competitive team. Now let's get into the reason we're really here. According to this perspective, people around LeBron James are searching for answers as the situation continues to unfold. Critics argue they're looking for someone else to blame instead of accepting what has happened. The central argument is that the Lakers chose to move in a younger direction rather than commit another major long-term investment to a veteran star nearing the later stages of his career.
So take a listen to what these guys said.
Do you think there's something to this? You know, Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Lakers, was Kobe Bryant's agent. And, there are reports there that, he wanted to get $50 million a year over the next 2 years. And he wanted celebration tours out the door. And Rob Pelinka reportedly was like, "Who do you think you are, Kobe Bryant?" And I was just wondering, on the way out the door, if that's more about pushing him out the door than it is about embracing him, because you said they didn't earn it to have him come back on the league minimum.
Now, the focus of much of the criticism has shifted toward Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka and, surprisingly, even Kobe Bryant. A narrative circulating in parts of the sports media claims that Pelinka intentionally undermined LeBron James's final years in Los Angeles. The reasoning behind that claim is that Pelinka supposedly wanted to preserve Kobe Bryant's place in Lakers history. One widely discussed rumor alleged that when LeBron reportedly approached the front office seeking a 2-year maximum contract worth roughly $100 million, along with a large, multi-city farewell tour, Pelinka responded by saying, "Who do you think you are, Kobe Bryant?" Let's take a closer look at what was actually discussed on a Sports Grid segment, where the hosts debated that very rumor. Listen to how they framed the conversation. One of the panelists questioned whether there was any truth to the idea that Pelinka was more interested in moving on from LeBron than celebrating the end of his Lakers career. He openly wondered whether Pelinka wanted LeBron's tenure in Los Angeles to end on a sour note, or whether he was simply trying to protect Kobe Bryant's legacy.
That's embarrassing if that's how Rob Pelinka's moving, because that's not in the Lakers franchise best. Let's be very clear. LeBron James is not a ceremonial player. He's not Dirk Nowitzki, who was added into the All-Star game in his final season while averaging 4 points a game. LeBron James was the best player on the Lakers in a playoff series win over the Rockets as one of the biggest round one underdogs. That's who LeBron James is. LeBron James has won a finals MVP for this organization. That's who LeBron James is. He finished 6th in MVP voting 2 years ago. So I understand he's 42. But if Rob Pelinka is making decisions based on protecting someone who, of course, means, but that's Kobe welcomed him in when he came, right? I think what it is LeBron was an excuse for a GM who, quite frankly, just relies on luck. Luka was luck. LeBron showing up had nothing to do with Pelinka. He wanted to be a Laker, probably because of Kobe and Magic Johnson, obviously. So he was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll just say I'm doing nothing because it's LeBron's fault.
The other host quickly pushed back and called the entire situation embarrassing. He argued that forcing LeBron James out would not be in the Lakers' best interest. He went on to say that LeBron is not the type of player who simply stays around for a ceremonial farewell. As an example, he compared him to Dirk Nowitzki's final season, saying LeBron is still producing at a much higher level. He also pointed to LeBron's recent playoff performances, arguing that he remained one of the team's most impactful players, and reminding viewers that he won a Finals MVP with the Lakers while also finishing near the top of the MVP voting just a few seasons ago. The host ultimately claimed that despite LeBron's age, Pelinka was making decisions based on personal loyalty to an old friend rather than basketball reasons. He even argued that Pelinka had simply benefited from fortunate circumstances throughout his tenure, and suggested LeBron's arrival in Los Angeles had little to do with him. He went on to say that LeBron chose the Lakers because of the franchise's history and the influence of figures like Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson. From his perspective, Pelinka did very little, allowed LeBron to move on, and then immediately shifted his attention toward reshaping the roster, including the reported acquisition of Walker Kessler. That is the discussion making the rounds across sports media, and it has sparked plenty of debate. Now, let's look at the other side of the argument. In my opinion, comparing LeBron James's situation to Kobe Bryant's is where this conversation starts to lose perspective. Many fans believe the two circumstances are completely different, and that's why they don't think the same expectations should automatically apply. That's the key point at the center of this entire debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if the LeBron fan base are a group of people that we need to be taken seriously. Because if we're being honest, LeBron fans are not serious people. For the simple fact that they think that their guy deserves anything at all that is comparable to what Kobe Bryant received from the Lakers really speaks to the delusion of the LeBron fan base, and frankly, the delusion of LeBron James himself. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let me get this straight.
LeBron apparently believed he would receive the same kind of farewell treatment that Kobe Bryant received at the end of his Lakers career. But let's take a step back and look at the situation realistically. It's also worth remembering that reports from a few years ago suggested Lakers owner Jeannie Buss had at one point considered moving on from LeBron. Those reports claimed there was frustration within the organization after it made major efforts to support his priorities, including drafting his son. LeBron spent 8 seasons in Los Angeles. During that time, he helped deliver an NBA championship, but many fans argue that his overall Lakers resume is still very different from what Kobe Bryant accomplished over 2 decades with the franchise. With that in mind, some people question why the organization would be expected to hand out a reported $100 million farewell contract and a large retirement celebration. That's really the core of this entire debate. Supporters on both sides continue to argue over what LeBron's legacy with the Lakers should mean and whether it should be compared to Kobe Bryant's at all. It's also clear that LeBron is aware of how divided the fan base remains whenever that comparison comes up. The question many Lakers fans continue to ask is straightforward. Did anyone truly expect LeBron to arrive in Los Angeles and eventually surpass Kobe Bryant's place in franchise history? That's a difficult argument for many people to accept. Kobe devoted his entire 20-year NBA career to the Lakers and became one of the defining figures in the organization's history. Naturally, a large portion of the fan base views that legacy as untouchable. Now that criticism has shifted away from the general manager, some commentators are framing the situation as though protecting Kobe's legacy somehow influenced the organization's decisions. But what exactly did LeBron accomplish in Los Angeles that would realistically put Kobe Bryant's place in Lakers history at risk? Let's look at the broader picture. Kobe Bryant helped lead the Lakers to 5 NBA championships. During LeBron's tenure, Pelinka and the front office made a number of major moves, including acquiring Anthony Davis, trading for Russell Westbrook after reports indicated the team's stars supported the move, and consistently reshaping the roster in an effort to remain competitive. The organization also signed several players represented by Clutch Sports during those years. So now we're supposed to believe Pelinka intentionally worked against LeBron simply to keep him from being compared to Kobe. That argument doesn't make much sense. It's similar to suggesting that if a player joined the Chicago Bulls, spent 8 years there, won 1 championship, and then expected the same farewell treatment Michael Jordan received, the situations would somehow be identical. Many fans simply don't see it that way. Another layer to this conversation is the criticism directed at the Lakers by sections of the sports media. Nearly every roster move has been questioned, with some analysts arguing that the franchise is headed in the wrong direction. Others see that criticism differently. They believe the backlash is largely driven by frustration that the Lakers have finally decided to move beyond the LeBron era, leading some commentators to paint every offseason move in a negative light. Some discussions have even drifted into debates about the types of players the Lakers are adding to the roster rather than focusing strictly on basketball. That raises another question. When did conversations about roster construction become centered on race instead of talent? Nikola Jokic led the Denver Nuggets to an NBA championship and has been widely regarded as one of the best players in the league over the past several seasons. During that time, very few people argued that his background somehow limited his ability to dominate at the highest level. That's why many fans find those criticisms inconsistent.
Before moving on, let's look at one of the comments from the chat. One viewer wrote, "LeBron James wasn't going to be bigger than Kobe, but he did bring LA a championship. Every year the Lakers don't win after he leaves, people will appreciate that title even more." That's a fair point, but couldn't the opposite argument also be made? LeBron spent 8 years with the Lakers and won 1 championship. Kobe Bryant spent 20 seasons with the franchise and helped deliver 5 championships. If someone wants to compare the two strictly through results, that's the comparison they're going to see. One player brought home 1 title in 8 seasons, the other helped bring home 5 titles over 20 years. Looking strictly at the numbers, Kobe averaged a championship roughly every 4 seasons, while LeBron won one during his 8-year run with the Lakers. Whether that's the best way to judge greatness is up for debate, but those are the numbers people continue to reference. Personally, I've never agreed with the idea that LeBron was the better overall basketball player than Kobe Bryant. Watching both careers unfold, I never reached that conclusion. I recently watched highlights from LeBron's Miami Heat years, which many people consider his athletic peak. Athletically, he was incredible. There may never be another player built quite like him. But when it comes to footwork, shot creation, technical skill, and overall scoring ability, I still believe Kobe Bryant's prime stands in a different category. Prime LeBron was an unbelievable athlete. Prime Kobe, especially during the mid-2000s, showcased a level of offensive polish that few players in NBA history have matched. Go back and watch those seasons for yourself and decide where you stand. Here's another comment from the chat. James wrote, "This is exactly why I wish Kobe were still here. It's crazy that people think anyone could replace what he means to that city. Los Angeles will always be Kobe's town." I appreciate the comment. Many Lakers fans clearly feel that way, and it's one reason these conversations continue to become so emotional. Looking back at that sports grid discussion, it's interesting how the debate always circles back to Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan whenever LeBron's legacy comes up. And that brings us to the biggest question.
Does an NBA franchise have the right to move on from a superstar, even one as accomplished as LeBron James? Or should a player automatically receive another max contract because of everything he has achieved? Think about it from the Lakers' perspective. Would you rather commit another maximum contract to an aging superstar and limit your salary flexibility? Or would you rather create cap space and aggressively reshape the roster? Would you prefer another season with largely the same core? Or would you rather see the organization invest in younger talent and address long-term needs? The Lakers have added a younger defensive center, improved their depth, brought in more shooting, and reportedly remain interested in additional young talent such as Jonathan Kuminga. From what I've seen, many Lakers-focused fans and content creators have supported the team's decision to begin building toward the future. If you've seen major Lakers creators arguing the team should have kept LeBron no matter the cost, let me know in the comments. Most reactions I've come across have been far more supportive of the front office's direction. I even watched a creator on the Players' Choice channel celebrating the fact that the Lakers were finally making long-term basketball decisions instead of short-term emotional ones. Here's another comment that made me laugh. Someone joked, "LeBron fans are about to start a GoFundMe to convince another team to sign him." Obviously, that's meant as humor, but it highlights how passionate this debate has become. Some fans insist the Lakers will completely collapse without LeBron because they believe he remains that valuable. So here's a simple question. If LeBron still guarantees championship-level success, does that automatically mean whichever team signs him next instantly becomes the title favorite? If he joins the Philadelphia 76ers, are they suddenly winning the championship? If he returns to Cleveland or goes back to Miami, would you confidently bet your own money that they'll win it all? Most people probably wouldn't. That's why the argument feels inconsistent. If LeBron alone isn't enough to guarantee a championship elsewhere, then why assume the Lakers were wrong for choosing a different direction? Whether you agree or disagree with the decision, the front office clearly believed it was making the best long-term basketball move for the franchise.